Hello and welcome to my podcast. This is your host, Beverly-fells-Jones. I'm an author, speaker, seminar leader, run my mouth person. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing a podcast or a YouTube channel or any of that stuff. But on this show, I want to talk about how to expand your world of thought. I explore the world of positive thinking, Bible-based law of attraction, and consciousness from many, many points of view. I intend to share with you information that will enlighten and empower you in your life. I'm here definitely to encourage you to think in the positive and to truly show you that miracles can happen. I want you to know that you have the power of the word and thought to create the life that you desire. So welcome to the show, wherever you're from. In fact, in the comments below, just kind of say hello and tell me where you're listening from. I am always interested in finding out, kind of where people are coming from. So, I'm a reader of old literature and self-help books. Now, when I say old, I mean, like things from the Roman Empire, things from the 1800s, the early 1900s, when the information was beginning to be shared. It was referred to as the New Age movement, but really it was an awakening of knowledge about who we are and what we are capable of. This was information that was only given to the elites, even though we were given this power and we use it every day. We weren't taught how to use it. Sometimes we'd say, well, why did that happen? Well, how did that show up in my life? Oh, this is a miracle, right? It's not just synchronicity. It isn't just about how you think. It was information that was hidden from the general public. And that's why I read that. I read things from the Rosicrucians and Golden Dawn and Jose Silva and Hanel and just many people. I want to share a quote with you. And the quotation is from a gentleman by the name of George Matthews Adams. And this is from the book Master Key System that was written in 1917. And here's what Adams said. Learn to keep the door shut. Keep out of your mind, out of your office, and out of your world every element that seeks admittance with no definite helpful end in view. I'll read that again so you don't have to rewind. Learn to keep the door shut. Keep out of your mind, out of your office, out of your world, every element that seeks admittance with no definite helpful end in view. Basically, he's telling you to guard your heart, guard your mind, guard the things that are negative in your life. Guard yourself from falling into the trap of negativity. Guard yourself from saying, okay, this happened in my life, so you can do that. This is what happened. So where is the cause of what has happened? We see the effect of our thoughts and the things that we're doing, the small decisions that we make. We want to make a change in the way we think, and that's basically what he's telling you. If it's not going to be helpful to you, if it's not going to help you move forward and become the person you want to be, or do the thing that you want to do, or create, or be an artist, or an author, or a speaker, or a garbage man, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or a, a salesman, whatever it is that you desire in your life, do not let negative thoughts turn you off. Be brave. Now, these old books, they give me the foundation by which I live. I have reshaped my belief system by removing those ideas, those mantras, those self-destructing stories that kept me from being the best that I could be. In reality, we are the creator of our lives in many ways. Yes, there are hindrances that we see in the world. There are ways and things that we find that can hold us back. And sometimes, instead of climbing that mountain, instead of banging on that mountain or the door within the mountain, create your own. Create your own door. Create your own mountain where people are banging on your door for admittance. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, said, "We deserve a seat at the table, but if they won't let you, create your own table and then watch them come and want to have a seat at your table, and you have the right to say yay or nay." During this time of crisis in America and the world, I truly do want to share uplifting stories and quotations that will help you remove some of this stress that you have been feeling, I have been feeling. And I had to find a way that I could be, well, the quote says, be the light in the world. And to help share with you just some hope for our futures. Now, I have been sharing off and on some stories from the international best-selling book, Manifestations, True Stories of Bringing the Imagined into Reality. So, I looked through it today because there are a number of stories, over 101. But I like to try to pick stories that at the time, well, actually resonate with me. So today I needed to do one thing, and that was an idea of laughing out loud. So I'm reading the book. Now this one is contemporary, and it's called E cubed. Now there's the E squared, E with a 2 in it. This one's E cubed, and it has experiments in it for asking infinite intelligence to show that they really exist, or it really exists, and we can ask for things. And one of the things that in this list of things I was to ask for was a belly laugh. And as I was relating to you the name of this story that I read, I had to laugh. Now, I'm not going to give you the belly laugh here, but it was like, well, I didn't get a thing where I did an actual belly laugh, but it basically told me the title of this story is Laugh Out Loud, and it's by Barbara Larrabee. So let's get started. Laugh Out Loud by Barbara Larrabee. We are powerful manifestors, creating all the time, good and bad. One of my biggest goals in this lifetime is to be more deliberate in manifesting what I want, and in harnessing the magnificent powers we have of mind, heart, and emotions. It's challenging for me to think big, visualize in vibrant color, let go of the how, and have faith. And hey, those are the keys to manifesting. So I find myself joyously laughing out loud when my special something pops up. And I'd like to share 3 of these experiences with you. When I set out to buy a car in 2011, there was a lot of deliberation behind it. My husband had passed away a couple of years earlier from a long illness that kept us perpetually broke. I was employed, but barely getting by, and I was driving a car that had 250,000 miles on it. I desperately needed new air conditioning, a critical must in Texas. I was also working on manifesting a new career to get out of an emotionally tough job, but needed to qualify for a car loan before I made my change. After narrowing the field down to a Hyundai Elantra, it was then a question of buying used or new. That caused some angst. I kept second guessing myself, calculated the numbers with a savvy business friend because I was in my 60s. I was leaning toward a new car with a full warranty and fewer maintenance issues, but the idea of a 5-year loan commitment was frighteningly daunting. Isn't manifesting supposed to be easier? I can tell you that this car did not merely show up in my driveway with a huge bow around it like in a television commercial. I needed to get off my duff and make a decision because Elantras were in demand. Prices for new used cars were rapidly going up. The day I went to test drive a new car, there were only 2 models available on the lot. One was red and had an expensive upgraded package I didn't need. The other looked white across the lot, but as I got closer, I saw it was actually misty blue. I almost didn't buy Misty as she has a light tan seat covers. Really? Did these manufacturers not know that seat covers will get dirty? But other than that, I felt the excitement and joy in test driving her, and she was everything I wanted. You can see that although I had way too much self-doubt, I had a clear purpose, a burning desire, and was taking a lot of action steps toward having a safe and wonderful new car. And I want to stop there because she made a couple of very good points that is in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And those points are things that I emphasize in the master class. And what are they? 1, have a clear purpose. Know what you want and why do you want it. And a burning desire. Because if you don't have a burning desire, why do you want it? You really, truly, inside of you, desire that thing. And that's what she said. She said, I had way too much self-doubt. I had a clear purpose, a burning desire, and there was a third thing. I said 2, but there was actually a third one, which Napoleon Hill tells you. Not in these words, but he tells you this, and this is taking a lot of action steps. You got to put things in action, right? So clear purpose, burning desire, and lots of action. So let me go on with her story. It wasn't until a couple of months later that I had my laugh out loud moment. Misty was clearly a manifestation. 2 things happened that gave me that new perspective. First of all, After a meeting one night, a friend and I walked out to our cars, which were in the lot across the street. He was a car guy, so I proudly pointed Misty out to him. She was showcased in a shimmering beam of light from the street light and magically glowed. He intuitively said, "That exact car was meant for you. It's from the universe. It was supposed to be yours all along." Wow, that's fun. What fun. Second, days later, I happened to glance at my vision board on the wall. All right, for those of you that don't know, vision board is where you put things up that you want to create in your life, things that you desire. So she looked at her vision board, and there was Misty right in the middle. She laughed out loud. I laughed out loud. I get great joy in creating vision boards, and yet, once on the wall, I often don't see them. Well, she's not the only one. I've created a vision board, and it might be I'll look at it regularly in the beginning, and then I forget about it. But I know what I put on it. And then something happens, and I'll look on that board and go, "Oh, I have to take that off. I have that. Thank you. Thank you." So, she said she hadn't paid attention to the car picture on it for a while. When I created the vision board 2 years earlier, the 2011 Elantra wasn't even manufactured. The car on the vision board was a different make, but it clearly had the same sleek design that Misty has, as well as the same swirl on the side panels. Misty's elegant essence was right there in front of me. We don't always get the exact thing we are picturing, but it can be excitingly. It can be this or something better. Thank you, universe. Even today, Misty is like a best friend. I talk to her, I love on her, and I find joy in every ride. She represents a big step in coming out of the nearly overwhelming jungle of grief and survival. She's a daily reminder that there is always hope, knowing that the universe and I partnered in bringing her into my life is joyous and uplifting. While manifesting big stuff like cars is terrific, it's also joyful to watch little things pop up and amaze. So she's telling you that she put it on her vision board. She was purposeful. She had a burning desire, and she took actions. And she didn't realize that by looking at her vision board on a regular basis previously, 2 years old was her vision board, her subconscious was tuned in. And I love to say that the universe, infinite intelligence, God, however you want to describe it, is at times like a private secretary scouting out the things that you desire and what you want. And hers was 2 years in the making. My house was over 20 years in the making. My truck was about 2 years in the making. But when we look at what has come into our life, especially the fact that we had been thinking about it, dreaming about it, visualizing, and we always say this or something better, know that you have the capability, and you've been doing it all your life, of manifesting and bringing things in your life, because Scripture says all you have to do is ask. and believe that you have received and it will be yours. She goes on to say, it was time to replace my bottle of organic vanilla. I was shocked at how prices had gone up. I looked in my favorite health food store first, then online. For a couple of weeks, I kept checking pricing and finally resigned myself to paying more. When I went back to the store and reached for the shopping cart, there it was. A bottle of vanilla was lying in an otherwise empty cart. What are the odds? Not only did I laugh out loud, but when I stopped by the vanilla section, the bottle was the best price. It was $7.77. And other bottles the same size on the shelf was $9. Thank you, universe. Lastly, so this is the third one. Only this week I manifested a koozie in 4 days. I haven't used koozies in years, but started thinking about one because my glass of iced coffee sweats so much. So a koozie is what you put over your glass or over a can of pop or beer or whatever. All right. So not good for a lovely wood desk. Then the worst, my hand slipped on the glass one day and coffee dumped all over the desk and a stack of papers. It was time to shop for a koozie. But before I even got out the door, I coincidentally cleaned out a bag of goodies from a trade show 6 months prior. I love this. And here was a koozie right there in my office. So when she thought about it, the universe said, hey, go clean out that bag. I've had that happen to me too. Just go take care of that. There was a person I wanted to contact recently. Been thinking about them, wanting to find out about them. It was Catamere Farms, which is a boutique farm that does good organic vegetables and lambs and chickens, and I wanted to see if they were available and if they had room to put me on their list. Well, universe had me said, you've been having all those stack of business cards forever. Go clean out those 2 boxes of business cards. Guess what? I found the business card for Catamere Farms. Awesome! Right? So what are the odds, she said. And I laughed out loud. And yes, we do. We laugh out loud. We giggle. We jump up and down. We just do things because when we realize that we are being given things that we ask for in a very distinct way. And if you haven't found out yet, but you can begin to correlate what shows up in your life, opportunities that show up in your life, by going back and thinking about the first time you thought of it, the first time you said, I want that. Now, I talked about my home, but the first time I thought about owning my own home, I was in my 20s. And yes, I owned multiple homes when I was married. But in my 20s, I thought about owning my own home. But my thought processes at that time were not conducive to me buying my own house, even though I was making more than enough to purchase a home. So now, many, many, many years later, I was sitting in my living room here and I started to laugh out loud because the home I purchased was very close and better than the home that I thought about buying back in Pittsburgh when I was in my 20s. So comment below. What is it that you've thought about? What is it that you've manifested and brought into your life? And it was a surprise to you. You remembered what happened that caused it to show up in your life. Be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a review. I just love you. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's story from Manifestation, True Stories of Bringing the Imagined into Reality. There's a link in the show notes that'll allow you to pick up the book on Amazon. Thank you for listening today. Please share the link to this show with your friends and family so that they can learn how to be the best that they can be. Visit my website at commandingyourlife.com and follow me on Facebook. Have any suggestions for the show? Just contact me by emailing Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. Be sure to join me on the next episode. As you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.